This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
The concert event of the year is coming to Minneapolis. Paul McCartney live at US Bank Stadium, October 17th. Want to score a pair of tickets? Just head to KFAN.com, keyword contest now and enter to win the Get Back Tour. One night, one legend. Don't miss out.
During the 2 o'clock hour, too. Rosen says he's out today. No! So we'll be winging it again, but that's okay, too. Start of the 1 o'clock hour, as always, it's 534.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hit, hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Byron Buxton was removed from last night's 4-2 win over the Cubs after being hit by a pitch on his left hand. Manager Rocco Baldelli did say the imaging done during the game on Buxton's hand, quote, came back all right. Comment your thoughts on another Buxton potential injury.
Well, if it's, I don't know that's really not a medical evaluation. I don't think a doctor say, hey, your MRI came back and it's all right. Maybe they do just say that. So it sounds like there isn't a break or anything if the imaging came back okay. So I guess I'm not really concerned. I mean, I don't even think it matters. It's a terrible team in a terrible city with terrible fans and a terrible stadium anyway. But that being said, it sounds to me like it's something that won't be, if he does have to miss any time, it won't be a lengthy time away. Wouldn't you agree?
Hopefully. Is the All-Star game next week?
Oh, yeah, and then there's the All-Star game,
that would be potential for him to play in it, and near his hometown in Atlanta.
Yeah, and he was going to be home run derby guy,
He was going to be in
right?
the derby. He wanted Brixton to be able to watch him.
Yeah, so that'd be unfortunate for him if it doesn't happen, but we'll see how it goes.
And he had a padding on his left hand already, so...
Yes, I saw that.
Surprised it's not enough to prevent it a little bit more, but...
Yeah, I'm with you.
Question number 2.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the Wolves.
The Timberwolves begin Summer League action a little under an hour and a half from now when they'll face the New Orleans Pelicans in Las Vegas. There are some notable names on the roster, including Terrence Shannon Jr., Rob Dillingham, Jalen Clark, and 2025 draft picks Yohan Baranger. Is that how you say his name? And Rocco Beranger, and then Rocco Zakarski. Comment, does Wolves Summer League pique your interest at all?
Wolves regular season rarely piques my interest. There's some
notable names on there.
If you're in the basketball community or you're a basketball rube, there will be members of this air staff that'll be locked in, that's for sure. Myself, I won't watch any of it, but I'll glean something from the reports because I'm sure Krasinski will be there, and Chris Hine and all the others that follow the Wolves on a regular basis will be breathlessly reporting on the results. If I'm one of the players that's playing in Summer League, I'm going, dang, I wished I was a starter because then I'd have the summer off. Now of course, you didn't play much during the season. I get that, but now it's like,
Is there a chance to play?
I'd rather be playing golf right now or be on a beach somewhere, and I got to play basketball in a sweaty. I got to bump and grind with a bunch of other sweaty guys in Summer League basketball. But yeah, like you say, they didn't get a chance to play. Give them a chance to get some experience. So, but no, I don't think I'll spend much time. But and I don't know what you even other than you just get your reps in. I don't know what you if you get better by that or prove anything. I think the only thing that really counts is when you're playing against other teams and the games mean something. But
I kind of want to see Dilly Dilly a little bit. I know it's
is that what we're calling him? Is Dilly Dilly?
I just said that.
I like it.
And I get it. It's like a preseason NFL game, right, where you're going up against their third stringer, so it's really hard to get a gauge as to. But given that they have not addressed the point guard position as of right now, I know there's still summer left, but potentially he's going to be getting a bigger role next year, and who knows how much more Mike Conley has left. He could be taking on a significant role this upcoming season, so it'd be nice to see him a little bit to see how he handles summer league, just because I don't think we got to see a ton of him last year. And it's on at 2:30, and we'll be here already, so at least watch a half hour of the game. We'll have it on. They're on ESPN2 today. You
obviously didn't do your research before putting together 5-3-4.
No.
9 to noon already talked about the Buxton injury.
Oh.
So
sorry about that.
I don't know why you
How about Wolf Summer League? Did they talk about that?
I've not heard from any listeners yet.
I bet nobody talked about this next one because we're the only ones who talk about this.
Okay.
Question number 3. It's time now for a look at the Lynx.
Yeah, the Phoenix Mercury closed the game on a 19-4 run to beat your Minnesota Lynx 79-71 yesterday. The Lynx had 18 turnovers, including 8 in the fourth quarter. Alyssa Thomas scored a career-high 29 points for the Mercury. Minnesota dropped to 17-3 on the season. Common, any reason to be concerned about the Lynx's loss yesterday? So the Lynx, the way uncharacteristically lost in a manner in which they had the lead going into the fourth quarter. MVP hasn't seemed to have been the same since her back injury.
Yeah, I'm glad you dug a little deeper there. I wasn't sure where you were going with this, but I appreciate the addition to the question. I don't think so. 17-3 is a pretty gaudy record.
Yeah.
If you want to nitpick, you could. But it's really not worth nitpicking right now. Because generally when they're playing basketball, they're just cherry picking. They came to dominate, and so you can't win them all, as the old saying goes. So
just you lost to a Phoenix, you lost to an Indiana team without Caitlin Clark, and now you got a fourth quarter lead and you blow it and look inept offensively.
Maybe I should be concerned.
I just think maybe some things are bubbling here a little bit.
Well, you know what? I'll stash that away. I guess I hadn't thought about that. I appreciate you saying that. I have enough to be concerned about. Now you got me worrying about the Lynx. Why do you do this?
It's just me throwing wet blankets on things.
Okay.
Question number 3. And now it's time to go in the trenches.
BetOnline has some more odds that may be of interest to us. They sent out their odds for who will have the most receiving yards in the National Football League in the regular season. Jamar Chase is the 9-2 favorite, but our guy Justin Jefferson, along with Nico Collins of the Texans, are next at 15-2. Brian Thomas Jr., CeeDee Lamb, and Malik Neighbors are 10-1. Puka Nacua is 14-1. Tyreek Hill 20-1, and then A.J. Brown, your guy Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Drake London are all 25-1. Common, which receiver would you bet on to have the most receiving yards in 2024?
The overnight guy on Fox Sports on KFAN talked about the Lynx. So you brought him up. They've already been talked about it.
Sarah Spain and bring it up in the update too.
I don't know what you're doing. No! You're not doing the things you used to do that made you good, tend to be is the problem. Well, again, those are, look, we love list radio. And that's kind of a list. You're listing the players. And it's all fine and good. I mean, they hard to argue with those if those players stay healthy, if their quarterbacks stay healthy, and if the teams play like you would think they would. Those are probably going to be the top receivers. But for instance, if Joey Burrow goes down, Kenny Anderson is the backup. Boomer Esiason, is he their backup in Cincinnati? I don't know. I mean, they don't spin it as good as Joe, so those numbers could drop dramatically. But I would say Chase and Jets are probably 1-2 for sure on that list. I suppose you could make an argument for the 3 or 4 others. Maybe somebody tend to be your.
Well, let me give you my
value bet.
I'm going to go Malik Neighbors at 10-1. New York Giants, he was a rookie last season. He had an extremely good rookie season, was targeted like crazy. They don't have a lot of other options in terms of throwing the football to any of the receivers. So he's going to be in year 2. Plus last year, he put up those numbers even though he missed a couple of games. He only played 13, 14 games. And then this year, I'm not going to act like he has great quarterback play, but it's one of the 3 between Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart has to be an upgrade over what they were throwing out last year in New York. So I think Malik Neighbors, and because they're a team that's always going to be playing catch up and from behind a bunch, I think Malik Neighbors at 10-1 would be my pick here if I was in Las Vegas.
Here's a nice idea, Tennessee. How about changing the name of the show to the Power Trip Midday? I kind of like that. I like that. I think it would, it's kind of
they're the morning show.
Yeah,
with the Power Trip midday show.
And because we duplicate a lot of their topics we talk about. Of course, we do it in a little different way, the esoteric words. But this would let people know that at least it's kind of false advertising because nobody can be as good as the Power Trip. I mean, you and I certainly can't match that. But we're also letting people know we're kind of like the Power Trip in that we cover the same topics they do. So you may have
breasts, heard about it already. Yoga pants.
Yeah. That was so much fun. That's 534 for you. And then Tennessee's going to have a keyword to try to put some dough in your hand.
Yeah, the fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That keyword is money. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Mall of America's mystery cards are back, and we are bringing them to you all summer long. Come grab yours at KFAN events throughout the summer and wherever you see our KFAN street team. Then make sure to redeem them at Mall of America for fun prizes and big discounts. See full list of events at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 13, 14 past. This is the Common Man program, or Power Trip Middays, we like to call it. Should we just talk over each other a lot? So, Tennessee, what do you think about this? You know what I was thinking about?
We need like 12 people in here.
Yeah. Text messages received at the Bradshaw and Bryant campaign text line 64686. This one says, garbage man is a top 10 most dangerous job in America.
Really?
Waste Management sends drivers down to Arizona for 2 weeks, then 2 to 3 weeks of on-the-job training. Stick to selling used golf shoes, Tenna. Then he says, just kidding, Tenna. I love you. I didn't realize it was one of the most dangerous jobs. I mean, if you climb inside that crusher, you're donezo, right?
Sure. You got to learn that aspect of it.
My guess is that has to have been a scene in some movie, particularly like a mobster movie where they throw a guy in a garbage truck and he gets crushed in the compactor in the back. That has to have been a scene at one time or another, right? Because that would be the most dangerous part, I would think. I don't know what else would make it dangerous, being a garbage man.
Well, I guess there's an inherent danger just driving all day.
I guess, yeah. And there was another text message. This one says, there was a story in Milwaukee where reporters followed the trash men who worked really fast in the morning, spent the rest of the day in the bar. Those investigative eye teams, don't they have better things to do with their time? I worked janitorial for a while. My first job out of my first job ever, I was pumping gas at Metro 500. And I was fired. Coals don't quit. We get terminated. I was fired because I thought it was a good idea to have my Haight-Ashbury buddies come up and we'd crack open a few beers and smoke some dope and take turns pumping gas. And the GM, the gal that ran the place, she would always close the place at 9 o'clock. She came early. And I don't think she came early just because she came early. I think like somebody pulled up at the gas station, got newer, right, and said, you might want to go up to your gas station and see what's going on there because there's a bunch of long-haired hippie freaks with their hair tucked up under their hat. And they're pumping gas and drinking beer and smoking dope up at your gas station. And that was my first. I was 16, was fired from that. I was just 16 and out of control, lost on James Dean and rock and roll. Then I took the job at the manufacturing plant in Forest Lake, Norcon, where I was I buffed helmets and did all sorts of odd jobs and crazy jobs. I've talked about that enough. Then I did janitorial for a while. Worked for one of those companies where you show up at the office at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You jump inside one of those unmarked white vans without any windows on. I mean, you got your windshield in the back windows and the windows on the door, but nothing on the side, right? There's no name of the company or anything. You have all your cleaning supplies in the back, and then you have your different office complex or what's ever on your list that day. You go there and you clean the offices or whatever the case may be. And most of them were office complexes is what you would do. And what was crazy was because you had a set amount of places you had to go, and you were getting paid for 8 hours. And what was crazy, no matter how fast I tried to work, because I always thought, wow, what if if I do enough just to get by so that, I get the work is done satisfactorily enough, right? There's no janitor out there, I think, that's cleaning a place with a fine-tooth comb, right? So at least clean it so that it passes inspection. Maybe I can get out of here in 6 hours and have 2 hours at the bar like these garbage men. Never worked out that way. It didn't matter how fast I worked. It was always 7 hours because then you got like an hour for lunch or half hour, whatever it was. It always worked out no matter how fast I worked. So I'd get done at 11 o'clock and then I'd Haight-Ashbury it until the early morning hours. There was just no getting around trying to, because that's the idea. You think if you have one of those unsupervised jobs where you have a set amount of work to do, you're thinking, if I work really fast, maybe I can make it a shorter day. Didn't work.
See, I had one of those jobs.
Okay.
When I was dragging baseball fields for the city of Maple Grove. Yeah. And, my job was basically the south half of Maple Grove. I had to drag all the baseball fields and it was you're working 7:30 to 3:30 every day. And let's face it, if I wanted to get all the baseball fields dragged as fast as I could be done at 12:30.
Okay.
So I kind of had to perfect the art of making it seem like I was working more than I was so that I was still coming back around 3:30 because I can't come back at 1 because they're just going to give me more work to do.
Right.
Right. So I'd rather act like it's taking me this long because I just got to get my baseball fields done.
Yes.
Back then we didn't, we didn't have phones or anything to like keep us entertained. But
right.
I listened to a lot of PA New Bane Common Man back then.
Really?
On my Cushman. And I had a lot of fantasy football magazines with me.
Well, that was, I used to give advice to people all the time. You think about me giving advice to people. What is this bit going on at the radio station where there was some type of, if somebody knew where to start at the radio station, who would you tell that new employee to avoid at all costs? And everybody said me. What's wrong with me? Because I drain morale?
Did you watch the video?
No.
Okay.
I don't know how to. You know me. I don't know how.
I may have thrown you under the bus on it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Isn't that fine? What did you say? It was a morale drain? Is that the gist of it? I thought I was likable. I thought I was huggable and lovable. I thought people around here like me. Though they still haven't signed up on the free show sheet. No! Somebody put Dave R. So I thought it was Dave Ryan was going to come by 3:30 and we would swap war stories about radio. But no.
Well, Dave Ryan will come by 1:30 tomorrow for program password.
Oh, is he really?
Dave Ryan and also Jenny from the Dave Ryan in the Morning Show.
Oh, sweet.
Those two will be in here 1:30 tomorrow.
Have they played before?
Dave's played twice, I believe.
Oh, he has twice? I could have swore he was in
Jenny's making her debut.
Very good. Well, good. Well, Dave Ryan will come. Maybe we can do some free show with him afterwards. This guy says, Common worked for a trash company in Alexandria, hauled in $87K last year. Wow. There's money in garbage. No question about that. We'll take a break. There's more to talk about as far as, we used to, in the olden days, used to call it gold brickin. Do you know what gold brickin means, Tenemy?
No.
I'll explain on the other side of the break. It's the Common Man program on the Fan.
Thanks to friends at Unreal, you can restock your wardrobe with Unreal Golf Apparel this year, just like Common. Register to win up to $1,000 in Unreal Golf Apparel on our contest page. One lucky winner will restock their closet with amazing golf apparel. Thanks to Unreal. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter today.
Teneby. Someone sent a text message that says PA already talked about how he has to talk about things the Power Trip already talked about, so we shouldn't have talked about that. I mean, there's just nothing to say anymore now. We're just doomed. Somebody else thinks there's tension between the Common Man and the Power Trip Morning Show. They sense some tension.
Well,
wouldn't there be? I mean, we're not supposed to be envious and jealous. Most successful radio show in the country. They get millions of downloads, and they're podcastable, and they're this and they're that, and they go to Vegas all the time, get the wine, the women, and the song, and there's us in the midday, just downtrodden. So, yeah, there's tension. I don't think they feel it toward me. I don't even think they know we exist. As far as they're concerned, it's KPTM. That should be the callers. K Power Trip Morning Show, right? That's all it should be. Just no reason to even have anybody in the midday. We're just elevator music until it's time for the Power Trip Morning Show again. So that's all fine and good. We love them. We know where our bread is buttered, and we think they're wonderful. Here's another one. Just a heads up, the morning show is a game show on Friday. So we're doing a game show on Friday afternoon, so I guess we got to stop that too. Ours isn't nearly as successful, certainly financially.
No.
Cove Parlay, that's one of the greatest gigs of all time. Garbage truck drivers typically get paid for an 8-hour day. If they can do it in 4 or 5 hours and get done what they have to get done, they can go home and they get paid for 8 hours. That was I've programmed radio stations before. I actually programmed 5 radio stations. You're supposed to go 5?
5?
Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. And I would think the people that work for me, I never asked them. I would think they would like working for me because, you'd probably, roll your eyes, shrug your shoulders, and shake my head and nominate for me for PST. But I was pretty good for the people that work for me. For instance, back in the day, there was an old saying in the radio business: no money, no, it's comedy. No money, no funny. The old saying was, if you had a 4-hour shift, 4 in the door. That's what they said. 4 in the door. You do 4 hours, you're gone. That's all you have to do was a 4-hour show. Right now, I got 3 and I flee. Right? I got a 3-hour show. It's 3 and I flee. And so working in small market radio stations, usually you're doing about a 5-hour, 4 or 5 hour radio show, right? In some cases, even 6. And there would be days where that was really all there was to do. There, you might not have had any production being any commercials to record, right? In the small markets, at least back then, there were no endorsements. You would just record your voice doing somebody's, an ad for car dealership, HVAC, roofing company, whatever the case may be, right? But if you were able to get your shift done in 5 hours and there was nothing else to do, I would just tell them go. And my boss would say, where are they? And I would stick up for them and say, we're not paying them anything at all. They're not making any money. It's not as glamorous as a business as people want to make it out to be. If they've got all their work completed, their shift is done, why should they hang around for 3 more hours to make an 8-hour day? And the boss let me do that with my employees. Because, again, if there's nothing to do, so you're just going to twiddle your thumbs for 3 hours? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, you can say we should only get paid for 5 hours, and well, you're not getting paid much anyways, right? Do you agree with that? If you can get your work done, leave early?
I think a lot of corporations and companies now, the controversies, whether, remote work,
right,
or do you bring them back to the office? Do you bring them back on a hybrid? And I think the concerns of them working remotely is they're not going to work as hard. We can't oversee them, which it's actually probably going to be more efficient in many cases because you're not taking the time to drive into work and drive home through traffic. So you're actually saving time. But I'm one of those where, let's say there's a salesperson here, an account executive. If they're making the proper amount of sales and making money for your company and they can do it on a 4-hour day instead of an 8-hour day, I'd say more power to them. Go make your sales and then go golf around.
That's what I'd say, too.
I think you should be rewarded for that.
But there would be people that would say, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
They come into that as well. If they can sell X amount in 4 hours, imagine what they could do in 8. Well, it's not as easy as that, I don't think. So that would be the comeback.
Part of their motivation to sell in 4 is I can go golf. I can go golf.
Yeah. I agree with you. Same thing on the remote work. If you're productive, because I think I liked working from home, even on the radio. We did it on a number of occasions.
I would love to do it, yeah.
Yeah, where during COVID, there was at least once, I think twice, where I did a week from home. And I liked it, had the equipment hooked up, just put the headset on, could wander around down to my man grotto. I could practice my putting.
Fold some laundry.
Fold the laundry, do the whole thing, get things done. And I don't think we were any worse for the wear. And the other thing is remote work, where, like you said, they're worried that remote work will result in less productivity. But I think it's almost the opposite, because if you like remote work, you don't want to jeopardize that, right? So you're going to make sure you get all your work done. And maybe then some, so they go, by gosh, Tenneby gets as much done at home as he did at the radio station. He even gets more done. You don't want to jeopardize. If all of a sudden you were getting less done, then the boss goes, you're gold bricking at home. Can you look up gold bricking?
Yeah.
Go. You're gold bricking at home. You got to start coming back into the radio station. Nobody, I don't think, would want to jeopardize that freedom to be able to come and go as you please.
Well, like I said, one, you can be more efficient because of the travel time, but also, two, I think the concern is there's more distractions at home when it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
I think there's less distractions, right? Like, how many times you come here, maybe not so much for you, but how many times have I come here and I see the program director and our Friday guest and the entire Power Trip Morning Show? They're just shooting the bleep for about an hour and a half. They're not doing any work. They're just they're distracting each other.
Yes, and they're distracting you from getting your work done as you wanted quiet over. That's exactly right. I think that all those people you mentioned don't do enough. I think you're absolutely right.
Sorry to call them out individually.
Well, but I think you had every right to. I don't think they're doing the things they used to do that made this radio station.
Is gold brick something with only a superficial appearance of value? An idler or a shirker? An
idler or a shirker. Somebody who shirks their responsibilities. Somebody who is just he's idle in his work. Gold bricking means you're not working. You're gold bricking. You're pretending you're working. I used to give people advice all the time. I said, if you work like in an office or a factory or something like that, always carry a clipboard and always be walking fast. Because if you've got a clipboard and you're staring at it and you're walking and the boss looks and goes, he's busy. But if you're just leaning up against the jukebox, right, having a heater, you go, hey, looks like you're not busy. I got something for you to do. That's the first thing, is always look busy even if you're not. Because if you don't look busy, like you say, hey, Like you were talking about dragging the fields.
Yeah.
If you come back with 2 hours ago, they say, hey, I guess you could do something else for us, couldn't you? You got more things to do. So you always...
You want to go to the parks and get some garbage for us.
So you always want to look busy. And the other thing is, don't be good at anything you don't like doing. Right? Because if you don't like doing it, but you're really good at it, they're going to keep you doing it. And you don't like doing it, so be really bad at something.
I'm wishing that whole master control supervisor role I did a long time, I wish I just would have been awful at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now you're the best master control supervisor in the building. Well, you're the only one, too. But yeah, you do it too well. They can't live without you. I had a job in high school cleaning school buses. My coworker and I would take turns laying down for a nap on the seat while the other kept watch. The things we used to do to avoid work. Yeah. That's what you would do.
But you got the job done.
But as long as you got the job done, as long as the school buses got clean. That 4 for the door is a good strategy if you're getting paid salary. If you're getting paid hourly, most people want to stay and get that money unless it's a Friday. Well, yeah, I get that. Yeah. 4 in the door. 3 and I flee. 1 and I'm done. What did I used to say for 2? I don't know. I had one for 2. If you only worked a 2-hour shift. That was a time I just did 2. Think about it. Noon to 2.
2 and you flew?
2 and I flew. We can use that. You should just work a 2-hour shift here. That was a grind. Trust me.
Those were the days.
Those were the
How
days.
good was the noon to 2 shift?
It was really good. Boy, if there are concerns about you covering the material of the power trip in PA I've already covered, I'd have to I would say it's been almost impossible for Roller Coaster Rosen not to do the same thing. How can he possibly provide any value when he actually shows up at 2 o'clock hour for his shift? All he does is cover what other people have said. Amen. That's for sure. Hey, just my opinion. The power trip's fine. I listen to them when I'm able, but if I miss an episode, I never bother to go back and check out the podcast. However, if I miss your live show, I always catch up with the podcast. Same with the ticket. I guess it's because I've graduated from 7th grade. And I think that's what it is, see? You know, it's... I've always said if you like reliving the 8th grade, you listen to the Power Trip Morning Show. Can we get Cove on the air and talk about his... I'd like to... Maybe we could have him as a...
Is he back yet, or is he still in Vegas?
I don't know. He's got a phone.
Do we have any indication?
He's got a phone, doesn't he? Somebody had some specifics, I guess, poker talk about winning and losing when they texted me earlier. Where is it here? You know, like how many blinds and how many this or that.
Yeah.
Do we know exactly
the scenario and what you got?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody said...
I mean, I knew he was...
Here's what it is. It says, Corey Cove update, in case your listeners wanted to know, Cove finished 1,253rd in the Wausau main event and won $17,500. Event was part of the World Series of Poker, which took place at the Paris, Las Vegas, and Horseshoe Hotel in Vegas. He had 19.7 big blinds and 158,000 chips when the next pay jump was at 1,258th. What is 19.7 big blinds? What does that mean?
Let's just, for math purposes, just round it to 20.
Okay.
So let's say you have 20 big blinds.
Yeah.
So obviously, if there's a table of 9 players, one person is always the small blind, one person is always the big blind. That's the ante for those
right.
2 specific players. And then depending on what stage Corey was at, they might also have an ante from everyone at the table to throw into the pot.
Okay.
But let's say the big blind was $10,000. So if you had 20 big blinds, then you would then have $200,000 in chips. Once you start getting under 10 times 10 big blinds, that's when basically your only move is like all in. Like it's hard to play poker at that point. Like your only moves are put all your chips on the table.
Yeah, you just have to, and then
it's hard to call and see a flop at that point and bet on a turn, and
then you are hoping on just luck at that point. You're just hoping that you catch a card on the flop, right? Yeah. Or the last. If the flop's the first three, what do they call the other two? Just
turn, and the river.
In the river, that's right. I've lost all the lingo. I haven't played in so long. I know we talked about this before about doing a KFAN poker tournament and doing a live stream of it. And like on TV where they have the cameras underneath so you can see what the players have. Couldn't we do something?
We'd have to partner with probably one of the casinos locally if they already had that in place at one of their tables.
Because you fancy yourself a Wild Bill Hickok, really a good poker player. Cove obviously does, and he seems to be very good. He's made a lot of money. PA is sort of like he plays cards from what I remember. We did one a long time. I was involved. I don't know if you were there or not. This is 25 years ago. We went to somebody's place and played a game. And what I remember about PA is he's sort of like B-Flow.
He's aggressive.
Aggressive without being reckless.
He's pretty reckless, too.
Yeah, he's reckless, too.
I would say he's both.
Yeah, he's both. He's aggressive and reckless. So that's three.
He's either going to be the chip leader or he's going to be out in 5 minutes. So, those are the...
And then with me, that's four guys. Does Sauce play poker? How about hockey? Does he play?
No. Nordo might play a little bit.
So that's five.
You could start going to like the peripheral KFAN people, like Dave Sinekin will play.
So that's six.
Michael Russo, I bet, would play.
So that's seven. Does
back in the day, I remember, because we used to play like KFAN poker games a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I was involved in one a long time ago.
Fred Hoiberg played in one of them.
Yeah. Like I told you, I played one time with PA and a bunch of other KFAN personalities. I don't know when it was, like in 1997 or 8 or something.
Yeah, I'm not going that far back. But
I'm going way back. Does Zacho play?
He seems to know all the lingo, so I'm guessing Zach could. He was given updates on Corey nonstop.
Do you think people would watch?
They might check in. I don't know if they'd stay watching.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to make it so it ends. It can't.
We need to be mic'd up so you can hear all the commentary and that stuff.
And it can't, because like this World Series of Poker.
Oh, it goes on and on and on.
If you get to the final table, it's like days and days.
It's like 7 days.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know. That's part of the reason I didn't.
We would have to do like a couple hours sit and go.
What's it called?
Like a sit and go is where you just have one. It's basically like a mini tournament. It's just one. It's one table, and you go from, let's say we have 9 people playing.
Oh, yeah.
9 until you get to 1.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It would have to be.
Or you can just do a cash game. So cash game, you lose your money, you can just put more money back in.
In other words, you're talking about
straight up. Cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out.
I'm going to be cashing in. I think you're going to be cashing out. Or no, wait.
Cash out, cash out, cash out.
Cash in, cash out. Cash in, cash out. Cash in, cash out.
Yeah, because, you'd have to have it where I guess it would have to be small and steady, because you have to turn it into a pitch count baseball game. You can't do like an old fashioned, but it could take hours and hours and hours. That's part of the reason I don't play cards. That's like with golf. Once I get over 3 hours in a round of golf, I start to break out in hives. I hate long. I don't have the patience for it. And same with poker. You got to play. If you're going to play in a tournament, you want to win, and that's why you're playing. I just can't sit there for 6, 7, 8 hours, going, Rays, I'll see ya, See,
and I'm the opposite when it comes to cash games. Like, I'm not going to just show up for a cash game for an hour and a half. Like, I need a 6-hour block because I can be patient.
Well, I can, but I don't. When I'm saying I can, I've played in when we used to play card. Now, it wasn't a tournament, but when we played cards back in my Haight-Ashbury days, we'd start playing about 7, 8 o'clock at night and played at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning till the sun came up. Just hand after hand after hand. That's where I would stash a beer inside the butter compartment in the refrigerator. Everybody else is out of a beer, and I'd go in there and I'd have it. But then everybody caught on to that after a while. You never drank. You never probably had to do that. You'd hide a beer in the refrigerator because I don't know why we just wouldn't buy more beer knowing we were going to need more beer, but we'd always run out of beer. It always happened, right? So you would stash beers in the refrigerator where they couldn't find. Maybe put it in like the vegetable bin or whatever it is. You just hide them, But I just don't want to play cards that long. I can do it, but I don't want to sit there and. I don't like doing anything for a long period of time. I couldn't do a 4-hour show. It's hard enough for me to do 3. Golf got to be 3 hours, or less. And so a poker, I'd rather if we could set something up where it's going to take a couple of hours to play.
Yeah, I think we just play cash game.
Yeah. Just play a cash game. Cash in, cash out. We'll call it KFAN's cash in, cash out, and crown a champion. And
cash game, you can't really crown a champion, but
you can't.
I mean, I guess someone would win the most money at the night.
That'd be the chance.
It's not like one winner. You get multiple winners.
I got this one from I got this line from my brother. This is so good when you're rubbing it in your trash talk at the table. So let's say you win the pot, right, of that hand, and you pull it over closer to you, right? You're scraping it in, right? And then you kind of scrape it over to the guy next to you and say, that's what it looks like in your pile, and this is what it looks like in my pile. And quite frankly, I like the way it looks in my pile better. That's such a good cheap shot. Do you get it?
I'm sorry. I was responding. I was caught off guard by some white bear math that's being thrown on the internet right now.
No one listens to me. You don't listen to me. The listeners don't listen to me.
Can you repeat it?
Well, it wasn't that good.
Your wife doesn't listen to you?
It wasn't that good. It was, my brother used to do this playing cards. He would pull the pot that he won toward him, and then he would push it over toward the other guy for a second and go, that's what it looks like in your pile. This is what it looks like in my pile. And quite frankly, I like the way it looks in my pile better. Chirping. Oh, yeah. There's nothing like chirping. I told you the gambling story when we went to Old Number 10 Saloon in Deadwood, South Dakota. And that's where Wild Bill Hickok, you know that, right? Wild Bill Hickok got shot in the back. You've heard of a dead man's hand, right? That's aces and eights. Pair of aces, a pair of eights. Legend has it that Wild Bill Hickok got shot in the back playing poker at the Old Number 10 Saloon in Deadwood, and the cards he was holding were aces and eights. And my brother had a comedy show at whatever college is in that town. There's some community college or small college there. And so I went along with my brother, and Murray, the poker king, came with us as well. And our whole intention was, we were there to, no money, no funny, to make money doing comedy. My brother was doing that. But what we were trying to do was we wanted to play poker in Old Number 10 Saloon. So we sat down as soon as they opened up, 10 o'clock, we're there, shot a bar whiskey for me and whatever she's drinking, right? And we're drinking and playing cards. All of a sudden, the sheriff, just like you'd see in Walking Tall or Rambo, the stereotypical sheriff, big belly, he comes in and he goes, what the hell are you guys doing? Playing cards. He goes, that's illegal. And he's got his hand kind of right by his gun. It's like he's about to, I'm about to get a belly full of lead. Says, you can't gamble in this town. So we stopped gambling. We don't stop drinking, but we stopped gambling. We meet the owner of the Old Number 10 Saloon. He comes in a little bit later. We told him we wanted to gamble in there, but we were told he can't. He goes, you want to gamble at the Old Number 10 Saloon? Let's get started. So we start gambling with him playing cards. Next thing I know, the sheriff comes back in. He acts like he's never said a word to us. He just slaps the owner on the back and watches us play cards for money.
I always love that one.
It's not what you know. It's who you know. There's an old saying in Deadwood, I think there is in Tennessee. It's fool me once, you should have called my bluff. We'll take a break and come back another hour to go. It's the Common Man program here on the Fan.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at IPVanish.com/audio.